so much for joining. I'm really excited to give you all a deep dive into our Creator Studio. We've launched a whole bunch of new feature updates across the whole board of features within the Creator Studio. So we're going to go through each update one by one with you and just show you what's possible, how you can integrate that into your captured tours and provide your clients with some awesome features. So yeah, my name's Alex. I'm the account manager for Captured. Joining me is the awesome Stephen Kunis, our CTO at Captured. So yeah, feel free, guys. We're going to be doing some Q&As at the end. So feel free to just put your questions in and we'll get to all of them. So feel free to, as we go along, feel free to ask questions. Steve, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. I can see that the admins just put in some links into the chat as well, just for the community groups, for CCG and everything else. Best place to get all the information. We usually post there first and foremost. All of our beta releases go there and any questions get answered super quick in that forum in itself. Alex and I are back at it again. We had what we deemed to be a pretty successful webinar last time together for the first time, and we thought we'd give it a crack. Again, this time with Creator Studio, because there's so much to go through. Before we do go through the Creator Studio side of things, we are supporting and assisting in the first ever Digital Twin Awards. Am I sharing the right page? Hopefully I am. So the DTAs, as we've coined them, the Digital Twin Awards, we appreciate that so much good work gets created in the community at a global level. And it's just something that we think needs to happen to help recognize all the amazing work that goes out there. We would love to see this get to the point in the future where it's kind of like an Emmy or an Oscar, and we'll have that prestige against it. And I think that there's just, even looking at some of the applications so far, some amazing pieces that have been allocated within it. There's a few different categories, obviously, best overall, most unique use of Matterport, best education, best arts and culture, and best real estate. We've got an amazing group of judges as well, all impartial, and we're obviously not included in this at all. We haven't even submitted anything. Obviously, we want to keep ourselves at arm's length because we really do want to support the community with this, and it's not anything to do with Captured. Obviously, we're hosting it, but we just want to make sure that recognition is provided to those amazing people that are doing amazing things. Entries do close tonight at midnight, I believe, 19th Australian Eastern Standard Time at midnight. So you still have a chance to submit your best tour for 2021 and get it recognized on the global stage. And so the process works that the judges will review these, and then the top for each category will then go to public voting. And so the public will vote on what they deem to be the best experience created in 2021. I'm really excited about this going live, and just seeing some of the amazing content that's been created here is just phenomenal and just so creative as well. And it's a big connection to what we're going to be going through today, right? A lot of these experiences have, as you can see here, virtual art exhibitions and audio overlays and the rest of them. So all of this is possible through the Creator Studio, which we'll be going through today, one step at a time. I'll pass it back to you, Alex, to get us going on the road.
Thanks very much, Steve. So yeah, everyone in the US and in Europe, you've got just over probably 12 hours from the end of this webinar to submit everything. So yeah, make sure you do a submission. You'll get official laurels from Matterport. It's a great marketing exercise for your own company as well. So yeah, very exciting. Let's jump into.
Sorry, Alex just reminded me that, yeah, one of the best parts about the award, you'll get a blog on the Matterport website, and you can connect that from your website, and that recognition to show clients, hey, I won the best ever, or best 2021 digital twin is going to hold great prestige. So, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks, Steve. Right, let's jump into the juicy stuff. So I'm going to share my screen first, and we'll jump into some of the features. Steve, just let me know when you can see my screen.
Loud and clear.
Lovely jubbly. Cool. Let me get rid of this bar. Can you see that zoom bar on my screen, or is that just me? Ah, perfect. Awesome. Cool, guys. So yeah, we'll jump into the Creator Studio for this model, for this property. So when we jump in, I know you can see a few additional icons, which is very exciting. I'm going to initially take you through custom tags and what's available with them. And then we'll also jump into location-based audio. And then Steve will take you through the media and staging side of things. So let's jump into tags. So now we've got the ability to actually create matter tags within the particular space directly from the Captured Studio. So all we're doing is clicking on the tags icon, selecting create tag, and the same functionality as Matterport Workshop. You can place that wherever you like, but you can also zhuzh it up pretty well with some additional features within here. So first thing I will show you is just embedding media directly into the tags. So we'll give it a title. Ooh. The joys of using a trackpad. Right, so description. Embed. And then let's go down to the media link. I'll just grab one off YouTube. Here is one I prepared earlier. Whoopsie daisy. And we'll jump back in and we'll just paste that media link in. What we can then do is just give that a quick preview, but we can make some edits on here as well. So the preview as it is standards is a kind of a small module that will appear. Obviously, you've got the title and description below this, the media embedded straight into there. But what we can do as well is make some changes to this matter tag and the module that appears when you click on it. For example, the length of the stem, as you can do in the Matterport workshop, but we can also completely customize the icons. So we've got a library of thousands of icons to choose from. For this one, I think we'll go for this nice film light reel. And we can also customize the color of that. As you guys know, I think we did this in a previous webinar, change the background. But what we can also do is change the size of the billboard. So we'll go from small to medium. We can then just give that a quick preview to see what that looks like. Maybe we want to go a little bit larger than that. So again, we can increase the size of the billboard. We can go full screen as well. And we can also edit the color background that this will sit on. So we'll give it like a kind of nice light red color. And we can preview that directly from there. So really like, yeah, opening up the ability to be able to customize these tags and the content within it. Here's the larger module size as well. So yeah, just really giving you the power to be able to choose how those modules are displayed and what content you can display within it. Another awesome thing is actually now the ability to embed websites directly into tags. So what we can do is click on here. We can give it a new title. And we'll copy a website in. I'm going to go for the National Trust website. It's a pretty groovy website. Just get rid of that bar. So yeah, we'll just copy and paste this directly into here. And again, the same as before, we can give that a preview. That should just take a second to load up. If not, maybe I grabbed the wrong link. Oops.
Looks like the YouTube
Bear
links.
with me. The joys of live webinars. Let's try this one out. Copy this in.
But what you've shown there is actually a really good example of something there. So not all websites can be embedded, and YouTube's a good example of that. And so you want to have that as a media embed. But as you can see here, your standard website from the National Trust is now embeddable within that tag and obviously scrollable and everything that you could do in a normal website. The key benefit here is obviously keeping people on site within your tour rather than taking them to a new tab.
Absolutely. And then just being able to have that backdrop of the different colors within the tour really helps to kind of accentuate the branding of either your own business or your clients as well. So again, we can change up the design of this. You know, we can put it down to a slightly smaller module as well. Again, changing the icon. Can put in a nice website icon. So as I said, yeah, thousands of, oh, I like the spider web. Let's go with that one. So we can change that around and edit it with everything that we've just done. Again, changing those modules around. So yeah, it really gives you just the control of how you want to present that. So yeah, that's a pretty awesome, awesome new feature. Another thing as well is that you're actually able to sync these within Captured. So you can sync your created tags over into your Matterport model within the workshop as well. So yeah, if you find it easier to work in the Creator Studio, rather than workshop, you can do pretty much everything in here and then sync that over. So that's a.
So I was just going to add one thing to that, Alex. The reverse to that's also really important for the baseline of this feature. So hypothetically, this property that you've scanned, you want to create tags in 5 different languages. Rather than duplicating that model 5 times in your Matterport account and obviously taking up your subscription, you can just have it once in Matterport and bring it across the Captured 5 times. And those tags you can have in each language in different ones, so different layers, and not sync it back to Matterport, meaning that each tour can be completely customizable and different off the same baseline Matterport tour as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Thanks for that, Steve. Awesome. Again, creating multiple tags as well. You can also apply this style to all as well, which makes it a little bit more efficient if you're creating lots of tags and you want kind of similar branding, or maybe even client logos as the tags within there as well. So that's our new tags update. I'm going to now move over to audio. We've got some really, really awesome new location-based audio features to show you guys. So I prepared a couple of things earlier. Essentially, what you can do now with location-based audio is assign specific audio tracks to specific sweeps or scan points within a property, which can be really, really useful for just giving information about a particular space, room, or area within a property. And when the end user will navigate onto that specific sweep or scan point, the audio will start playing. When you move off, it will stop, and then move back, it will start to play again from the same place. So I have a few different audios that I made earlier that we can use to integrate into this model and to different rooms. So click on upload audio, we'll go to browse. And here we have some different audio tracks. So I'm going to start with the living kitchen area. We'll give it a custom name. Just verify that it's all copyright safe, and we'll upload that into the side menu. So once that's uploaded, what we can do is press the plus button, and we can either assign this as a background track that'll play across all sweeps whenever you enter the tour, or we can assign specific scans. So we'll go for the scans for this one. And as you can see on the right-hand side, a bunch of scans will appear with checkboxes. You can either use that to select the scans that you want, or you can just click on the actual sweeps themselves and also click them again to remove that background audio as well for the scan location-based audio from here. So I'm just going to go through the kitchen and the living room area and assign scans to those specific, or assign audio to those specific scans, sorry, and I'm going to press the tick button. And again, I'm just going to do this for a couple more rooms. We'll go with the bedroom. So be prepared. I pre-recorded my voice on this, so everyone hates listening back to their own voice, don't they? But see how that pans out. We'll upload the bedroom.
While you're uploading that, Alex, I'll just give a quick background on file types. So at the moment, we're just accepting MP3s as the audio type. It's for compression purposes, and also it's obviously the most widely accepted audio file. There has been requests for things like WAVs and bigger files. There just needs to be a consideration when you're loading these pieces with virtual staging and the like, and on mobile, you need to think about optimization and usability. There are obviously conversion tools to go from WAV to MP3s as well, but for now, just MP3. Yeah, good point. Yeah, I actually just really easily used an online converter I used to record on my Mac, and then just uploaded it to a free online audio conversion straight to MP3. It took a couple of minutes. So yeah, really simple to do that, but we'll have more file compatibility coming in the near future. We'll leave it at that for now. So we'll assign those sweeps into that bathroom. And what we'll do is then save and publish this. And we're just going to exit out of the Creator Studio and just go straight into the forward-facing tour to see all this awesome location-based audio. I tried to give my most professional real estate voice on this, so I'm excited to see what you will think. I'll allow ratings out of 10 in the chat.
Please be nice. So that's just loading up. You can choose to start with or without audio. Obviously, we're going to start with audio. Hopefully this sound comes through okay for you guys.
If you're using your headphones, Alex, the sound's not going to come through. But what I can do is I can shot on my side, if you like.
Okay, awesome. That's a very good point. Again, the joys of live tech demos. So Steve, if I stop sharing, maybe you can just show this functionality and then go on to the other features.
Sounds good. Righty. Hopefully that's coming through okay for you.
Sweeps or
scan points.
Let's take these headphones out.
So as you can see, we're walking around the open plan living room.
I can hear your audio now, Alex. If you just want to mute your side so I can share mine. Beautiful. All right, so here's the tour. I'm going to click start with audio.
Welcome to this special captured virtual tour of 297 Napier Street.
Obviously, clicking mute will stop it.
Location-based
Bring it back
audio
in.
that can be assigned to different sweeps or scan points in the tour.
And as I move it,
so as you can see, we're walking around the open plan living room and kitchen area. But if we navigate over towards the bedroom, the audio track will change to describe that specific space. So welcome to the bedroom of this property. As we walk in, we have some mirrored built-in robes on the left, but then we walk straight into that fantastic view of the city of Melbourne.
So what you could see there, and sorry, Alex, the voice did sound great. I'll just help guide that through, is when you move through those transitions, it also fades from one to the next as well, which is really important. It's not just a clear cut. And so if I walk into the bathroom, you'll hear that again as we go from the bedroom into the living.
Of this property. As we walk in, we have some mirrored built-in. Let's go and check it out. Welcome to the bathroom containing all of the mod cons that you would expect from a newly built apartment.
Awesome. Did you have anything else you wanted to add on audio before I jumped into my side, Alex?
No, I think that's all good. Yeah, you showcased that perfectly. So yeah, I think we can jump forward to the next one.
Let me see if I can pull the chat up. Beautiful. And the Q&A. Awesome. So Alex just went through obviously the tags and the audio. There was one thing on this I just want to quickly show. That splash screen that popped up at the start asking you if you would like to start with audio or not. You can actually edit that description. This can be in any language, and you can have your own unique call here. And so asking for whatever it is that they need to, and that's easily just created there. And so available on all audio tours. It's also a web-based requirement that if you're going to play audio through a website, you need to let the user that's visiting the opportunity to play or not. The whole thinking is someone sitting in a library and all of a sudden they go to a website and audio starts blaring out. Obviously not the best usability. So the two things that I'm going to be going through with us today is media and staging. Both of these have been covered a little bit in separate webinars, but there are a number of new features in both, and something I'm really excited to share on the staging side with lighting, which I'll go through in a bit. I also see a fair few questions coming through, both in the chat and the Q&A. Keep them coming through, and what we'll do is at the end, we'll go through each question one by one, and also open up for other Q&A. But please put your questions into those as we go through, just as a reminder. So if I jump into this tour here, all obviously audio and tags that Alex created are still present. What I'm going to be doing here to begin with is just adding in some media. To begin with, I'm going to work with some images. Something that we've seen a lot recently is people utilizing a vacant space to create virtual galleries. And so I just wanted to quickly show how easy this can be to create. And so if you scanned a beautiful warehouse or any space with blank walls, as we've got here, we can add art to that wall to make it a virtual gallery. So let me just jump to my media for today. Select all of them and they'll all come through, as you can see, and just clicking upload. Again, there are file size limits on these things. Images are unlikely to ever get there. We've got 100 megabyte file size on any single asset. It's more likely that those sort of things will be reached on videos. But if I click on my artwork, you can see the outline of where I can place it. Just by clicking on the wall, I now have my artwork in place. Just like with virtual staging, I can change the positions. I can move it up and down the wall. I can move it left and right, obviously, and I can scale it. And so if I was to look at the scale side of things, I can make it bigger or smaller, depending on how I'd like to fit it. I'm trying to fit 4 artworks into these walls here, so I'm going to make it about that size. Click on my next one, drop that in, move it up a little bit. Beautiful. And then we've got one last wall here. Thought I'd bring some Australian into the conversation. Artistic version of our beautiful country. And the last one, some beautiful artwork on the wall there. So I'm going to move this across. And so really simply, we've now got these virtual assets hanging on the wall. These are obviously viewable in the dollhouse view as well. and you can see that they're all positioned really nicely on that space. And so really quickly, you can curate an art exhibition. I know that a lot of museums and galleries are now looking at Matterport as a tool to help them assemble or organize their space before they actually bring and build it. So a lot of times you do a hanging session in these galleries, and that's a lot of people and a lot of time. If you can do it virtually like this, it's going to help automate that process. And obviously from an MSP's point of view, there's an awesome opportunity to offer in the Matterport tour, but then the expertise in allowing them to be able to stage items like this in itself. And so just a really nice way to present some images. I might just delete a couple of these because the other artwork that I wanted to bring in, and we'll bring it back to real estate, obviously, being we're in an apartment. Something we've seen more recently as well within the real estate space, rather than embedding an image or information within a tag, using this feature to provide an overview for the real estate agent themselves. And so I've got a calling card here from Michael from Remax. Thanks for being part of the program today, Michael. I'm going to upload his imagery, and I can easily place this on the wall. Again, this could be placed at the front door or near the entry when you load in. It's just a nice way to reiterate your information on that piece. Obviously, with Captured's branding bars, we have all the lead captures and contact information, but we find that this is a really uninvasive way of providing this information and creating a unique space, especially with spaces in the US. Obviously, you have the MLS that doesn't allow for branding and pieces like that, but being able to add an image within the tool like this is possible. And so it helps you get your information across quite easily and quite nicely as well.
I was just going to jump in and just say, yeah, there's so many, Steve, there's so many uses for the media embed, and obviously using it as an extension of virtual staging as well. We have artworks and things like that within virtual staging, but with media embed, you can simply just upload your own images or videos to showcase whatever kind of art or staging artwork that you want to showcase. So yeah, very powerful tool.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for that. The old Zoom. So I just click save and publish just so everything is saved along the way. You'll notice as well a few little mechanics within the Creator Studio, which we should probably go through. We've got our generic undo buttons. And so this will help you if you end up doing a lot of pieces and then the redo, obviously bringing it back. As you're working within this space a lot more, these little tools are going to become quite useful. You would have seen when I was resizing these images, I was using this right panel. I enjoy this right panel, just so if you click on the position, then you can move it, or the rotation and scale, but you can also do it via these buttons down the bottom. So if I click on an asset and I can change the position, obviously I can move it, and the same thing with the rotation. If you wanted to turn it around halfway or whatever, you can. And again, this is the perfect time. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Bring it back from where you've been going with the undo button and go start from scratch. And obviously the scale button, which we went through before down the bottom here. We are going to be bringing in a lot more native tools, people that you'll all be familiar with, Control-C, Control-V, Control-X. They will be all coming in the very near future as well to make this as efficient as possible. Our first goal, obviously, is to create amazing features. The next part is to make it as efficient as possible. We appreciate everyone's time, Paul, especially within this industry. And so it's no use if this is going to take 10 hours to do, because it's not going to be worth anyone's time. It's about being quick and effective and creating something beautiful for your end customer.
I was going to say as well, sorry, Stephen, we absolutely love all of your feedback to kind of help iterate each feature that we launch and make it as good as possible for all of our users. So yeah, we really, really value your feedback. If you have any feature requests or anything like that, please feel free to get in touch anytime. We're super happy to receive that.
Absolutely. And again, that's a perfect place for the CCG. The link's above. We are on that system daily and always looking at all the information that's being sent through. The next part I'm going to go through is the video embed, very similar to images, right? Being able to embed a video in the space outside of the tag has so much usability within it. Again, with whether it's in an arts and culture space, which we can show some examples of in a moment afterwards, or even within a real estate space. And so the example I've got here is a real estate example. Again, we look at MP4s for this at the moment, and we will be expanding that in the near future. And again, the file limit is 100 megabytes. I believe this is under it. I should have checked, but I think it's about 30 something. And we're just verifying that we have the permission to use this for copyright purposes. Eventually, we're going to be bringing in YouTube and Vimeo links into here to make it a lot easier as well. But for now, we're just working with MP4s. And so, yeah, it tells me it's 26 meg. So I can upload this now. And just like the media embed, sorry, the image embed, I can click on the image and I can see the tracer of where it can be placed. And I can place it on this wall, again, moving it left and right. All the same features are there in terms of sizing, positions, and rotation. I'm not going to go through that again, but what's really interesting and unique about the video embed are the setting options. And so you have these settings that you can work with, and I'll show them each individually so you get a better idea of how they work. And so the first one is plays on loop. This is pretty self-explanatory. The video can either continue to restart each time at the end, or you can have it play once and then pause to black, and then the play button will appear for the user to have to re-click on it. I'm going to keep this one on loop for now. The next one is autoplay. And so there are some few options here to go through. So the first one's off. And so if you have it on off, it means that a play button will be present on the screen for the user to click to start the experience. The other options we have here are on view. And so once the user within the Matterport tour sees the video, like visually in the camera view, then the video will start playing. This is a really good way to make sure that the video is starting once the person can see it. And it automatically just works when they walk into that space. And the last one is on start. And so what this means is as soon as the tour loads, the video starts. And so if you had an ambient video track for like a gallery that you just want playing looping, it's probably a good example of having it on loop and on start. Or alternatively, if you had a curated experience and someone moves through it, you probably want to have it on loop, but on view. And so I'll quickly show how this works. And so I'm going to put it on view. And then audio is the last one here. Do you want audio to play? Yes or no? And then do you want it to be muted at the start? And do you want spatial audio? And so the muted on start, I think, is really important. Again, it goes back to that whole library theory. Do you want the audio to play when someone gets in there? Probably not. And so let them choose whether or not they want to unmute it. And the spatial audio means the closer that they get to the video, the louder the audio is going to get. And the further away they get, the softer it's going to get. And so I'm going to leave the settings like this for now and click save and publish. And this little eye here allows us to do a quick preview of the space. So I'm just going to click this and it's going to open up in a new tab and load us in. And so we need to remember that we've got that audio layer already with Alex's audio. I'm not going to play it again. So I'm going to start without audio this time. And so you'll see that the mute button starts at the top here. And because we've got it on view, I loaded into a position where I can view it. If I turn away from the screen, you can see that the video has paused here because it's not in my complete field of view. As I turn back, the video begins again. Again, this all works within the dollhouse as well. And so you can view that image on the wall nice and bright. I believe I can click and play on it as well. So it has all that functionality within the space. Again, if I move away, it is going to pause. And as I come back, it's going to start again. So I jump back in. I'll just show that functionality again. We can see the house. And I see if I can catch it in the corner. You can see that it's paused there. And then as soon as I come back, it starts again. If I quickly go back and just change a quick setting here to not autoplay and not play on loop and not play the audio, and we'll save that and we'll preview that. And so the difference here is now that when we load, again, we'll start with that audio for Alex's location-based audio. You'll see here that there's a play button on the screen. And so this is inviting the user to get involved in the experience. And so by clicking play, it is obviously going to start playing. Because we don't have it on view, you can see that it's going to continue to play as I look away from it. And so that functionality is present, as you can see. So previously we had it on view, and so it would pause. Now we don't. And so it will continue to play until I click the pause button, just like that. And so those two pieces there are the media embed and the video embed, and a few of the settings that are involved with that. Alex, before I move on to staging, did I miss anything on either of those two pieces?
No, that was perfectly presented, actually. No, it's just really, really awesome to see. I'm sure everyone's excited about that. I think there was a question that we had just in regards to hierarchy of audio. So if you're setting a background track, but then also have media embed, how does that kind of hierarchy work with sound?
Yeah, great question. And so our team has been working tirelessly on this, and there's been a lot of conversations, a lot of roundtable or virtual meetings and figuring this out. And so the hierarchy works in a way that depending on what is viewable and in space will take precedence. And so if you've got location-based audio and you move towards a media, so a video, the location-based audio will fade out and the media embed video will fade in, so you can hear that. Once that video pauses, the location audio will come back into play. The same thing with the tag. If you've got a media tag, I think this was ended up changing to a website, right? But if we had the YouTube video in that, once you click on that tag, our system recognizes that there's video or audio in that, be it a SoundCloud or YouTube video. It will pause the location-based audio and play the audio in the tag. And so it's kind of like contextual audio systems, making sense of where you want to be and what you want to be hearing. The background audio was one that we went back and forth on a fair bit. And so if your entire tour had an ambient audio track, there was a consideration on having it not pause, but go quieter while the other audio played in its place. But through a lot of testing, we recognized that it was just too much of a clash between audio sounds. And so it's always going to fade out one, and you're always only going to hear one audio stream. And it's what you're interacting with or what you're viewing within that experience. And if you're not experiencing or viewing anything, then it's going to go back to the location-based or background audio in itself. We'll dive into some more questions towards the end, but I think that should be able to cover the audio side of things, and maybe we'll be able to show an example as well. I do want to jump into staging because I know we've got a limited time today, and we appreciate all your time for joining us today. We didn't mention it up front, but we are recording the entire session, and we'll make it publicly available both in CCG, YouTube. We'll send out an EDM after the fact as well. So if you've missed anything or want to rehear anything, especially Alex's location-based audio voiceover, if he wasn't doing this, he could make a great real estate agent. It's all going to be available in the recording after the session. The last one we want to go through today is virtual staging. We've done a number of sessions on this, so I'm not going to go through the nitty gritty of it, but there are some new improvements that I'm really, really excited about going through. So first and foremost, if anyone that's new to Captured Creator Studio and our virtual staging system, our team have been working tirelessly on this in terms of the compression, the optimization to make sure it works on mobile and web, and augmented reality as well, something we haven't touched on today, but all of the things that we're going through, placing the images, the videos, the location-based audio, the tags, the staging, this all works through AR Connect instantly as soon as you click that save and publish button. And we'll probably do another session on this with AR Connect in the very near future as well. But we've got hundreds of assets. I believe we're up to about 600 or 700 assets now, and we're constantly adding more into this space. We did a whole big update of commercial, and then more recently, I think beach house sort of vibes as well. And so this catalog is continually growing. Let's work with the bookcase. So if I click on that bookcase here, again, you'll see the piece show up. And as I click on the floor, it will render into the space, and you can see it sitting there within the area there. If I move over to here quickly, let's see if we can get this on the wall. I'm going to move it nice and directly on the wall as if it was being staged there. Another really good piece here are things like the carpets, especially in a rug. Naming conventions, yeah, there we go. My interior design skills aren't great, despite what I was telling my team previously in itself. So let's see if I can just grab this one. No, we'll do an oven instead. So if you click on and off, it's going to take you from back and forth within the space in itself. We might just try and go through the living room section. Through all of these pieces. Kitchen, seating, storage tables. Let's go with some seating. Let's put a couch in here, shall we? Let's find a nice armchair. We'll throw that in the space. So all the things that we're going through here, we've been through multiple times on different webinars, obviously moving it around. We can scale it, make it a big chair or a small chair, and everything in between as well. And moving it back and forth. And again, this is where these undo buttons come into play really nicely. And if you want to delete an asset, just clicking the delete button in itself, throw in another chair here, and away we go. One of the features that we want to go through today as something that's coming, so there's two things that we want to present that's coming very, very soon in terms of a few days, if not in the next week. The first one, obviously, we're creating a lot of assets and we will continue to do that. And you'll see that they're all available within our system here. You can also upload your own assets. GLB files are the ones that we accept at the moment, but we'll be extending this out to other formats like FBXs and OBJs in the very near future. But you'll see that there's a a new logo here that is available on our side, and it will be available on your side very soon.
Steve, I wish we had a location-based drum roll for this, because this is really exciting. Really, really exciting.
We've got to come up with these ideas better in our prep planning sessions. And so many of you may be aware of a platform called Sketchfab. So Sketchfab is a platform that has the largest database of 3D assets in the world. Millions of assets are available on Sketchfab, both free and paid assets. We've been working with both Matterport and Sketchfab into organizing an integration here. The amazing thing about this is there's just catalogs and catalogs of amazing artists, architects, and designers that upload their assets here for people to make use of. And now we're able to integrate into this system. There's still a little bit of fine tuning to go, but just like our normal system, you click on an asset, and the way this system works is that our platform is grabbing that asset from Sketchfab, downloading it onto a server, optimizing it for the best performance in mobile and web, and it will then bring it into the system. At the moment, you'll see that it takes a second to bring in, and this is what we're optimizing for. And then that asset will become present within the space. We're really excited about this tool because it's opening up beyond just furniture. For those of you who are familiar with Sketchfab, you'll know that there's things like artworks you can see up here, this mesh dome, there's chrome balls. It's almost endless, the amount of content that's there. And it also helps with the other assets that we've got. So if I just quickly rotate this into a space here and make this a little bit bigger, I've just picked a random couch and it looks like it's come with a fork. There you go. And I'll position it a bit to the left. Again, I'm not an interior designer, so don't hold me to the way that I've staged this property. I might pull it up a bit actually, because it looks like, there we go. And just like that, we've got a couch within the space. The really good thing about this, when this does go live, is that we're talking about before, obviously uploading your own assets, we accept GLBs. You'll be able to upload your own assets to Sketchfab. So FBXs, OBJs, anything into Sketchfab, and then Sketchfab will do the optimization, the conversion to them, allow us to bring it into our side as well. And so we're kind of leapfrogging a few places, but also getting a whole bunch of benefits within all of these amazing assets that we see here. Obviously, our assets that we curate are all made into world scale and beautifully curated. With Sketchfab, we don't have that capability to make sure that everything's perfect. And so some things might be better than others, but it also gives you, all of you creatives, the flexibility to create however you would like. I just want to add one more thing, and I might go back to our normal one to show the next example. Can I get some plants in our system? Let's see. We added some more plants. I think we have recently.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few in there.
Let me see if I can just pull that up.
But yeah, this is super exciting while Steve's doing that. I know that, from speaking to a lot of customers, this is probably the most requested thing. I know some people have had issues with, getting the exact assets they want and curating that really personalized experience for themselves and their clients as well. So Sketchfab integration just opens up that door of opportunity, and millions of models and potential assets that you can integrate now into Captured. So super exciting.
The last thing I'm going to show here, and you may have already noticed this as I was going through, and there's a reason why I've moved all the furniture in weird positions. It will make sense in a second. Our team have been listening to a lot of the feedback that have been received. Obviously, we were one of the first companies, or the first company, to bring a virtual staging engine to market. A lot of work has now gone into the compression of the assets to make it usable on all the platforms. And now the next level of this is making these assets look as lifelike as possible. A big part of this is textures. And so textures are the parts on top of the asset that make it look 3D and bumpy and real life. But the other part to this is lighting. And lighting is super, super important. And so in the coming weeks, hopefully we're going to be releasing a new feature as part of our lighting tool. And so in the lighting section at the moment, for all of you that have played with Creator Studio, you can move the intensity of the lighting, but the team has done an amazing job on creating this new lighting system. And I'm going to go through each of these one by one. Firstly, the light intensity. So as I pull this up and down, you can see the assets becoming brighter or softer. I might move to a more optimal position. And so using this to match the light intensity within the room is super important. As you can see, it has a big effect on the different assets that we're playing with. Hopefully this is coming through nicely on the, I might just rotate this asset so we can see.
Yeah, it's looking great. Looking awesome.
Better. Move back a step to my location spot. Awesome. And so as I, again, play with this lighting intensity, you can see it changing on the textures. And so this is very similar to the feature that we already had. And so finding that right point for your assets. The next one is the light angle. Take a look at where the shadows are right now. As I play with this, we can see that the shadow is moving. And so obviously we have a window right in front of us. And so it makes sense that the shadow should sit around there, because the light will be coming through the window, hitting the asset across to this side. These little pieces instantly make that asset look a lot more real life. You can already see it because the shadow is now blocking on the couch here. It's darker on the cushions, but lighter on the seat. The same thing with this couch. Obviously, you're not going to get light on this front part. But when I move behind here, the light behind is obviously hitting the back of that armchair and the sides of this and projecting those assets within the space. Sorry, those shadows within the space. And providing this flexibility and again, creativity is super important to make all of these assets look a lot more lifelike. And the last one here that I'm going to show is intensity. And so as I move this, you can see the shadows getting darker and lighter. Again, this is all about matching the space. If you're doing a partial scan, and so that means you've already got furniture within the environment, the best way to make the virtual staging furniture look real life is to make it match the same shadow intensity for the real assets. And so this is really important for that, as you can see, making it lighter or brighter and matching it to what's already in the environment itself. And so really important one. And the last one here, and super exciting from my point of view, is the color of the lighting. Previously, we had a nice soft light that is quite ubiquitous for a lot of spaces. But again, another request from our customers is obviously different lighting, different environments, natural light versus, let's say, an office that has very bright LEDs, the lighting is going to be different. And so therefore the assets should be reflecting that differently. And so if I click on on these tones that we've got preset, and so these preset tones were created from our designers and creatives around some of the more standard lighting systems. And so as I flick through these, you'll see these assets change color slightly based on the light that we're moving through on itself. But you can also customize this light. And so let's pick a random lighting color here, purple, for instance, and change that lighting intensity. And you can see that lighting coming through. And so if I push that up a little bit, and might try and get back to my optimal spot over here. Right. Perfect. Let's change that lighting intensity. Go back to blue. You can see that it has these different effects depending on the color that you choose on. And you can see that color of that yellow all of a sudden change that couch color. I might just get the shadow out of the way so you can see this color a little bit more brighter. So what all of these tools are doing is providing more flexibility to the creation. You can see that this yellow, it doesn't look right within this environment. You can see that it looks too faked in this instance. And so I feel like the lighter blue sky in this instance matches this apartment a lot nicer. And all of these pieces are available to make your spaces better and more optimized for what we're actually going to be providing. At the moment, this is a one system. And so as you can see, as I'm playing with this, it's affecting all of the assets within it. It goes back to our second principle that I was talking about before around making everything efficient and quick. There will be extensions in the future that will be per asset, per room, but we wanted to make sure that we can provide this feature, again, being able to stage a whole apartment within a few minutes, super quick, getting it back and forth to you and your customer in itself. As always, save and publish all the work that you do, and then this becomes live. I didn't show it before, but obviously all the assets are available within the dollhouse to view. And again, a nice way to see the different shadows from a different angle from up here as well. There was something that got posted in the CCG recently this week using HDRI light maps. And so for those of you who don't know, it's getting an understanding from each panel where lighting is actually coming and then automating that within the system. And it's something that we're going to be working on in the very near future to preset all of this based on our system understanding that here's a window, we know the sun's coming from here, therefore the shadow should be over here and at this intensity. And we're going to be building that in the very near future and really looking forward to that. But there were the two previews that we really wanted to run through today, being the lighting and the Sketchfab integration. I can't wait for the Sketchfab integration to go live. It's going to be, yeah, pretty amazing. We've got a few examples. Our team have been playing around and have turned our office into Squid Game through a whole bunch of Sketchfab assets and animations. That's the other thing. Bringing in animations obviously is super easy within our system. And the last thing that you'll see, if anyone that's familiar with Creator Studio, you'll notice that the one that I'm presenting here today is a little bit different, not just the Sketchfab and the lighting, but you'll see at the top here, overlays. So we have been working really hard on updating our overlays. At the moment, we have the branding bar side of things, but we are going to be bringing overlays into the Creator Studio and making it completely customizable through your nav menu and everything else. I'm going to click on it quickly. I'm not going to be able to work through it because this is still very much a prototype and we've got a bit of a way to go to release this, but just to show you how this is going to work out, you're going to be able to choose your layouts, create your menus, and so putting in your URLs, adding in your media into your menus as well, whole bunch of extras. Things in the extras are going to be like lead generation forms, your URL parameters, which is down the bottom here, and your layouts. And so where would you like, what client branding would you like? And then also where you would like the branding bar. So would you like it at the top right corner, burger menu, bottom right, or transparent throughout the space? And the first instance, we're going to be providing a whole bunch of templates, but we're going to be working to a point where, think of it as, what's that website building company, Alex?
Squarespace.
Squarespace. Think of Squarespace, but for your virtual tour. And so you'll have complete customization on where your logo goes. Could be right in the middle as a watermark if you wanted, with branding bars everywhere. And so we're going to work towards that. But to begin with, we're just going to be providing fixed templates that we know are going to be beautiful. Again, it comes back to that whole system of what can be done easily. But when we do provide all those template availabilities in the future, you're also going to be able to save them. So you're going to do all your work just like anyone that's worked with our one-page website templates. You can create your template, save it, and then add that to a client. You're going to be able to do the same thing with the virtual tour overlays. We appreciate that this is probably the last part in Captured that really needs to be perfected. And we've got an amazing suite of products, not that we already don't, but this is something that we're really focusing on because it's a big drive. When we did our last questionnaire with our customers, we understood that this is something that everyone was after. And so you can see just since our last webinar, which was less than a month ago, our team have been non-stop working. I promise they do sleep and they do get rest and they do get weekends, but they have been non-stop with the lighting, the overlays, the tags, and the media. It's just been an amazing effort by all the designers, the product managers, and developers that have been putting this together. And it's definitely not going to stop. It is going to stop quickly over Christmas because they do need a break to see their family. But all of this amazing work is going to continue to roll out. And as we were talking about before, any ideas and any suggestions, throw it in CCG, get in contact with Alex or our customer support, because we love these concepts and we do end up building them. It sometimes takes us a bit of time, but we do get to them, and we do want to make sure that we're getting to a lot of these feature requests. And usually if you've got a suggestion, it's probably on the minds of other people doing or thinking the same things as well. And so it's always good to hear from all of our customers in itself. I'm going to quickly stop sharing. But we just went through a mountain of work, I'd say, Alex, in the last 45 minutes or so. Obviously, you took us through the custom tags, the audio. I quickly went through media and staging and showed off some pretty exciting new features around the lighting, Sketchfab, and the overlays, which are going to come soon. Should we dive into Q&A for the last 10 minutes?
Yeah, let's answer some questions. I think there's been a few coming through. So let's jump into those now. Skeeter asked, can we take snapshots yet? So currently, not at the moment. We haven't built a snapshot button into the interface. Definitely something that we are going to be doing in the future. For now, though, you can just kind of use your native screenshot button on your Mac or PC to capture those virtually staged areas as snapshots and things like that. But great question, and it's definitely coming soon.
Yeah, awesome. I know that one of our product managers and Dean, our co-founder, is a big advocate for this, obviously getting those high-res images out, which is going to be super useful in that whole process. Maggie, I'll jump into yours here quickly. Will the Sketchfab assets pick up the lighting of the room? Yeah, you would have seen in that example, that's why I put that couch in there. The way that our system works, and it blows my mind that we're able to do this, and testament to the developers. We're downloading that asset from Sketchfab to stream it in. but then we're also bringing it into our system and tool set, and so that it can align with all of the assets around it. If it wasn't able to have that lighting in the room and the shadows, it would stick out like a sore thumb. And so we made sure that that was a priority before release, that obviously it's compressed so it works on all platforms and devices, but then all the lighting comes through to it as well. Thanks for that one.
Another one from Skeeter. Can we have other collaborators? Good question. So yes, at the moment you can invite users into your Captured account who can then access everything within your dashboard in the Creator Studio to be able to collaborate on the Creator Studio and virtual staging, etc., and those other features. We are working towards a client portal access for this. So clients, your end clients, will be able to log in, see their content only under their client name, but then also have access to the Creator Studio as well, and be able to edit within there. So our providers kind of don't have to do it all. You have the option to do that. So that's coming early next year at some point, I estimate.
There's also that other item that we've been talking about nonstop, which we're hoping to work at some point next year, but being able to provide post-production for Creator Studio. It comes back to that whole time side of things. If we can have a team in the background, similar to the way that our post-production team does the highlight reel and optimization for your tours, to stage your properties or put in assets within that space and change the lighting, or at least do 90% of it, so that most of the work's done and then you can go in and do the last few pieces. It's something that we are constantly talking about and figuring out the best way and most cost-effective way to get that done for all of you. I think we entered the background audio and location based at the same time. So again,
sorry, speak on.
No, you're right. I was going to say, this is the same thing as the hierarchy from before, Maggie, around background audio and location based. If you've got background audio and you've got location based audio, if you're on the location based audio, that will take precedence. When you move into a space that doesn't have location based audio, the background audio will become present. Have a play with it. Love to hear your feedback on this as well. We've been going back and forth with this hierarchy a lot. We did try and get them to kind of cross over, like I mentioned before, and maybe in the future we'll provide like a level system, so you can choose maybe the background audio is at 10% versus the location based that's at 90%. But for now, we've just made it one or the other.
Awesome. Jubbly. Another one from Maggie. Would the video play on start versus play on view use more bandwidth? That is, would it make the tour would it make the tour take longer to load for the user? Simple answer is very slightly yes. It would take slightly longer to load, but it would be pretty negligible in terms of that amount of time. Obviously, if the tour's loading up multiple bits of content at the same time, it will be slightly longer, but you shouldn't see any too much difference in that at all.
Beautiful. I'm going to take the next one. John Holland saying he has to cook dinner. Firstly, what's for dinner? And can you send me some? I'm starving. It's almost lunchtime here. And the second one is, how do I access this recording? Because you've signed up as a register attendee for this event, we'll be sending out an EDM within the next 48 hours with this recording and some information for you to review. And that's for everyone. And also it will go on the CCGs, the MOOCs, and everywhere else where you get your content at the moment.
Awesome. Another one from Alfredo. Can we have a window with video playing in the corner while and always present? Yeah, so if I understand you correctly, we've had this feature for quite a while. It's currently in the overlay section within your captured dashboard in your chosen property. And you can choose to integrate media either via uploading a file, YouTube link, or a Vimeo link, and have that choosing to play in the bottom corner of the screen while you're navigating the tour. Or you can have it as like a preload, like a pre-roll video, full screen that will then collapse when the video finishes and then go straight into the tour. So there's a couple of options there. Feel free to have a look through that overlay section in your dashboard. You should find that. If not, send me an email. Happy to assist.
That's another great point. Anything that we've gone through today, we realize that we're in this day in, day out. And so if we've gone over something too quickly, obviously there's the recording, but get in touch with us. We're happy to do live demos and help you through, work through some ideas and problems with you and solve and assist. Obviously, all of you know Alex and probably in contact with him, but we've got a whole team assisting in this process. And so feel free to get in touch with us at any point. There was a couple of questions that came through on the chat side that I wanted to quickly answer. What was that first one from Shane? Yeah. Is there a way to categorize a tag public or private? Thinking along the lines of real estate listings where the Matterport is unbranded or branded. Yeah, so this comes back to the MLS system, so multi-listing system in the States. Obviously, you can't have branding on it. We need to do a little bit more understanding and testing to understand what does and doesn't in terms of the prioritization of these tags. We haven't built anything in specifically to solve this problem. But from my understanding of how those systems work, I believe that the custom tags will be allowed through that because it's not a overlay on top of the tours, it's embedded within it, and their system doesn't pick up on those pieces. And that's why I was showing the real estate agent as a media embed on the wall at the start of the thing before.
Awesome.
The Remax real estate agent.
Good stuff. Another question from Alfredo. Is it possible to have a watermark for virtual tours also? For example, the Remax logo very faded. Yeah, so I think Steve touched upon this slightly within the overlay presentation he was doing. Yes, so that will be possible, estimating in probably Q1 next year. We'll have that capability for you to be able to upload that, that watermark for tours as well. I think a couple of other people also asked that question. So yeah, thanks for that. We'll definitely be looking into integrating that.
It's good to hear about the watermark side of things. Like obviously we brought it up in discussion and we're going to be building it in, but we weren't too sure of the usability, but it does make a lot of sense, right? To be able to have a logo and for copyright purposes and a whole bunch of different reasons why you'd want to be able to use that and bring it in, whether it's in the middle, bottom right, anywhere in that space, but having that watermark helps with both your company and your client's branding side of things. So super important. And as Alex mentioned, Q1, and we'll probably do an earlier release to the CCG members, I'd suggest, for all of these features as early beta access. And so another good reason to jump into the CCG group on Facebook. There was another one down here from Shane. I got answered. That's fine. When you add a tag and captured, this is from Pavel, I believe from Portugal, when you mentioned at the start. Welcome. When you add a tag and captured, it creates a green colored location circle. Can the color of that be changed or edited somehow? So that color circle that you see when you're placing the tag, if I'm knowing this correctly, and there's two ways to answer this question, on the base of the tag is just to help you understand where it goes. Once you publish it, it's just the stem, just like in Matterport. So you have the line or no line and the tag itself. Alternatively, if you're talking about the tag itself, the icon, that's completely customizable, shape, color, size, everything around that space in itself. And so hopefully that answers your question.
Awesome. Richard asked, are there any plans to update the in-tour menu, sub-menus, design buttons, etc.? So the answer, yes, absolutely. I know people have been requesting that for quite a while. Essentially with the migration of the overlay into the Creator Studio, we kind of had to get that foundation set first before we started in those additional features, but that's definitely coming. It's in one of our upcoming sprints to integrate. So yeah, watch this space. That'll be ready soon.
Alfredo, I saw you ask the question that you can't see the overlay tab on your account. I did mention we've got a special integration on our side, on our account, to test all of these features. It's not publicly available yet. We've still got a little way to go. And as Alex mentioned before, it will be available. All of this, the overlay side will be available probably in Q1. The Sketchfab and lighting should be available in the next week or so. And so, yeah, we'll definitely let you all know with our EDMs and things around when that will become available.
Just to, thanks, Steve, sorry to interrupt. Just to update that, Alfredo, so there is an overlay option. If you go into a property on your captured dashboard, under the main virtual tour tab along the top, which will automatically go into, there's options for an overlay. I think it's just above the Creator Studio button. So it's kind of, at the moment, it's separate from the Creator Studio, but then you can go into overlay and use that space to upload the video to play in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen.
Kathy, really good question, and something we hadn't actually considered before. So Kathy has asked, when I have still photos virtually staged, it would be great if the Matterport if the Matterport tour could be virtually staged with the same furniture. Super interesting. Happy to take this offline and have a chat to you. There's two parts to this. Firstly, the company that you're getting to do your virtual staging in your imagery would have a database of assets that they're using for that and putting it in there. And they're most likely huge assets, like gigabytes, because they don't care about optimizing for web. They just put them in place, take a beautiful photo and export that as a JPEG or PDF. And so getting the exact same assets might be super difficult, but there might be a way to reverse engineer this, where we stage the Matterport tour with Creator Studio. And this could be through assets through Sketchfab, like we said, uploaded, or with our own assets, and then exporting really high res imagery that would be similar to, if not the same as, the imagery that you're getting at the moment in itself. But again, happy to take this offline. Send us an email, either myself or Alex. Happy to have a chat about what your current process is. be great to better understand what you're currently doing and how we can potentially assist in making something great for you in the future.
Awesome. I think Alfredo had another one. Are you thinking about generating new revenue streams by selling tickets to our spaces for galleries and exhibitions? Great question. The answer is yes, definitely. It will probably be Q1, maybe Q2 next year. We're going to open up a payment gateway that will allow you to essentially, sell tickets, as it were, to enter tour spaces, and that could be for galleries, exhibitions, museums, everything like that. So definitely something that we've chatted about internally, and it will be coming.
So that's all part of the second stage of the virtual tour overlay side of things. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement around this overlay, as excited as you can get at an overlay, but all of the existing features that we've got currently, but then being able to embed any URL into that submenu. So that could be drone images, drone videos, or links to YouTube, or all the other pieces that we've already got, deep links and multiple virtually staged properties. But something that Alex has been leading and has brought to us is around lead generation, very similar to the ticketing side of things, that we're really excited to be building in the new year. So lead generation forms and a really intelligent way to capture leads for real estate. But that same sort of system could also be used for ticketing as a payment gateway as well. And so that's all going to be coming in the very, very near future, which we're really excited about. I think that covers almost all of the questions. Maggie, another one. It would be great if we could favorite assets in Creator Studio. I hope that our product team is listening to this one. This is something that we've been talking about for a long time. Favoriting an asset, and also, so you have your favorites, obviously, but then being able to certain sizes. So if you upload an asset, resize it, making sure that it's saved at that size as well, is something else that we're super interested in doing. But favorites category is such a great idea. Maggie, thanks for that one.
Definitely. And just kind of an extension of that as well. I think you touched on it earlier, Steve, with kind of those new keyboard cheat shortcuts that are coming in, but being able to copy and paste those assets as well. So just replicating assets, copying and pasting them straight into the tour as well, from a saved to scale asset's going to be really efficient for building out virtual staging tours.
Beautiful. We've gone over time by a little bit. Obviously, we love answering questions, so we could be here all day, but I'm sure we've all got families, friends, and lives to get back to. There looks like there isn't any more questions, but if there are, send them through on CCG via email, like I've said a million times. I'll plug one last time, the DTAs. If you haven't already, submit your best work for the year. We'd love to see it. I'm enjoying so much going through and just looking at all the amazing work that's going through. It's digitaltwinawards.com and submit your selections. We've got a few hours left, so you can get it in tonight to be reviewed and get some pretty amazing accolades. I can see that our admins have thrown in the link in the chat, and obviously there'll be links in the CCG and Moog and everything else there. It's been an amazing session for us. Alex, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, it's been great. Thanks everyone for joining as well. Appreciate all your questions. And yeah, as Steve said, feel free to get in touch with any more. My email's alex@foria.com.au. So feel free to reach out.
Beautiful. To our American customers and attendees, happy Thanksgiving for next week. For everyone else, stay safe, and we look forward to speaking to you all soon. And have a great Christmas and New Year's. It's probably going to be our last webinar for the year, but we're definitely going to be having an amazing one planned I think in early Jan or early Feb, for a couple of reasons. Our wayfinding is going to be going live. If you would like early access to that, let us know. We can get you access to it now, but that's going to be going live, and all these new features that we've been speaking about as well. So if I don't speak to you beforehand, have a great Christmas and New Year's. Stay safe, and we'll speak to you all soon.
Thanks very much, everyone.